Hollywood is by far the most toxic place on the planet, especially for children. These are 20 kids of celebrities that completely lost it. And first up, we got the time the oldest daughter of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian humiliated her own mother on national TV.
What do you think about the work your mom does?
What does she do?
While it looks like North is just a copy of Kanye, who always speaks her mind, what she did next even surprised the producer. Because apparently this whole episode was only about one thing: cooking Kim.
Good question. Can your mom cook?
Heck no.
But this isn't the only time North humiliated her mother, because what she said on Kim's IG story embarrassed the heck out of her.
Thanks, I'm so glad that my beauty products can be used.
You sure you're really glad? You always say you're glad and you're mad.
Well, I'm mad that you guys leave a mess like this. You guys are gonna have to learn to clean it up.
North really is just a reincarnation of Kanye, ready to expose her mother. But that isn't even the worst child on this list, because it's about to get a whole lot worse. And what's a better way to start than with Will Smith's son, Jaden, who has completely lost it. Till the age of 10, Will Smith had complete control over Jaden. He made him act in movies. That would all come crumbling down, because Jaden went off the track and built interest in philosophy. And then he tried to showcase his philosophical thoughts to the world, which had him going viral.
You see your nose all the time. Your brain just chooses to ignore it.
It's right there! I see it! Bro! Where'd it come from? Ah! God! Has it been there the whole time? I'm having to breathe manually.
During that time, Jaden also started a water company, a clothing brand, and launched his hip-hop career. He did all of this just for one reason: to solve all the problems in the world.
You know what? I'm not gonna conform to society, and I'm gonna be a divergent thinker, somebody that thinks of multiple solutions to one problem.
Yeah. To some people, his idea sounded like wisdom. But what he's become now is just pure cringe. Because when he made an appearance on the Big Boy podcast, he said something so ridiculous and stupid about other kids his age that it went instantly viral.
I am very happy that I spent my childhood with more adults than I did with kids my own age, because I was picking up more things from adults than I were from kids my own age. Mm-hmm. And I look and I go around sometimes and I hang out with other people that are my age, and they're just kind of just selfie. I'm just like, dude, like, oh my God, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now? Can we talk about what's going on with the environment? Can we talk about...
Jaden constantly tries to prove he's some sort of prodigy, but in reality, he's simply born into a privileged family and fails to appreciate it. And while Jaden Smith is yet to see his downfall, Jackie Chan's son, Jaycee Chan, is rising from the ashes after his father completely disowned him. See, Jaycee is the only son of Jackie Chan, a megastar who is known for his undisputed image in the film industry. However, the same can't be said about Jaycee, as his acting career is full of flopped movies that couldn't even break even in the production cost. But failure is not the craziest thing about this celebrity child. What's more astonishing is his drug addiction history and his court hearing being broadcasted live all over the world. On August 14th, 2014, the Beijing police raided Chan's apartment, where they found 100 grams of drugs in his cupboard and also accused him of hosting others to take drugs. The police then uploaded the CCTV footage of Jaycee under their custody with his face blurred. But it couldn't hide the fact that the only son of China's official anti-drug ambassador was found with drugs. To address the situation, Jackie Chan publicly apologized and posted this on social media. For my son Jaycee to get in such trouble, I am very angry and astonished. As a public figure, I am ashamed. As a father, I am heartbroken. I can't begin to describe his mother's pain. I hope young people will take a lesson from Jaycee and stay away from drugs. I failed to be a good father, and I deserve the blame. I will take the responsibility and apologize to the public on behalf of Jaycee. While Jackie Chan was planning to disown Jaycee, the Chinese government wanted to teach Jaycee and the entire young generation a lesson. And so they decided to broadcast Jaycee's final court hearing, making him an anti-drug example for all youngsters.
I broke the law and should be punished. When I return to society, I vow not to break the law again.
He was then put behind bars for 6 months, and after coming out of jail, he issued a public apology and chose to live a sober life, which is quite similar to the troubled life of Michael Douglas's son, Cameron Douglas. On July 28, 2009, Cameron was arrested on charges of selling methamphetamine and shipping large quantities of it from California to New York. When the police arrested him at a Manhattan hotel, he was in terrible condition. His whole body was shivering and barely able to stand up straight. After seeing his his condition, the police decided to keep him in a home detention at his mother's house. Within 2 weeks, he was transferred to jail. But even that didn't stop him, because his girlfriend Kelly allegedly tried to smuggle heroin into prison using a freaking toothbrush. Unlike Jackie Chan, Michael Douglas fully supported his son by attending his court hearings, and he even sent letters to the judge to personally look into his case. He said in a statement, "Most people and their families are able to address their illness privately and outside the spotlight. Unfortunately, this has not been possible here, for reasons completely outside of his control. He thanks those who have rooted for his recovery and looks forward to the day when he will not disappoint." After numerous court hearings, Cameron was sentenced to 5 years in jail and 2 years in solitary confinement. On August 1st, 2016, he was released from jail. Until now, he's kept himself sober and clean and is now raising a beautiful son with his girlfriend. Just like other star kids, actor Billy Ray Cyrus's daughter, Miley Cyrus, embarrassed her parents for doing drugs for more than 10 years and for making explicit music videos to stay relevant in the industry. But I guess she's learned from her mistakes. The best thing about Miley today is that she doesn't take shit from anyone, not even the biggest podcast in the world, because what she did in the next clip left everyone in the studio speechless.
Yes, Kennedy!
You know who Kennedy is?
I know every single one of
They
them.
all do the same move. They drop down and do the splits.
That's what I think when I'm watching your shows too, you know, all the same stuff.
While Miley battled through drug addiction and made a powerful comeback as a pop star, Drake's rap beef has backfired. Only a few people know that Drake is the only son of drummer Dennis Graham, whose fame and connections in the music industry have helped Drake a lot. Just like every other celebrity child, Drake has some unsettling issues. For example, a few months back, Drake and Kendrick got into a rap beef to prove who was the best. Their back-to-back diss tracks shattered each other's images. But the biggest revelation was when Kendrick accused Drake of being a groomer.
Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
This is the hardest line from Kendrick's diss track Not Like Us, as it refers to the accusation of Drake's relationship with minors. Being a Drake fan at the time, I didn't believe in the allegations until I personally did my own research. And to my surprise, everything that Kendrick said is somehow true. A few years back, when Stranger Things actress Millie Bobby Brown was asked about her friendship with Drake, she said this.
I love him. I met him in Australia, and he's honestly so fantastic and a great friend and a great...
Things looked fine until she said that Drake missed her.
We just texted each other the other day, and he was like, I miss you so much. I was like, I miss you more. He's coming to Atlanta, so I'm definitely going to go and see him. I'm so excited, yeah.
What advice does he give you? Like, what does he say?
About boys. He helps me.
What?
Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love him.
What's his advice with boys?
You know, that stays in the text messages.
First of all, a grown-up man in his 30s has no business texting a 14-year-old child and saying, I miss you so much. Even if you have a professional relationship, what value will he get from texting that teenager? Surprisingly, Millie wasn't the only girl he was a fan of. A young model, Bella Harris, also seemed to be a close friend of Drake when she was just 18. She was once asked by Paps if she was in a relationship with Drake, which she didn't bother to answer.
You and Drake dating? You and Drake dating, is that true? Because I believe everything I read on the internet.
These two weren't the only teenagers Drake was associated with. There's a whole list of girls that couldn't even be covered in this video. And while Drake is the absolute definition of absent father behavior, this next celebrity kid is an ungrateful brat who never truly deserved the luxury life their celebrity mother gave her. In August 2022, comedian Rosie O'Donnell's youngest daughter, Vivian, publicly alleged her mother for not giving the kids a normal childhood.
I love all these comments about how Rosie kept my life normal. No offense, Mom. No, that never happened.
However, this wasn't the only time when her children disgraced her. In 2015, Rosie's adopted daughter, Chelsea O'Donnell, did something so awful that it still haunts Rosie today. It happened in August 2015, when Rosie posted on Twitter that her 17-year-old daughter mysteriously disappeared from her house. She contacted the police and made a public plea to find her daughter in the best of health.
Rosie O'Donnell's public plea for help today.
Her 17-year-old daughter, Chelsea, has been missing since last Tuesday.
And within a week, police traced down Chelsea at a friend's house. Upon her arrival, Rosie thanked the media for helping her find Chelsea.
I'm glad that she's been found, Rosie.
Thank you very much.
But Chelsea, on the other hand, had a completely different story to tell.
She got really upset with me because I wouldn't talk to her about what was going on with, I guess, my life or relationships and stuff, and said that she was getting all that stuff at work and she don't have to deal with it at home, and just to like get out and to take my dog and to have a nice life.
She didn't only rely on accusing Rosie for kicking her out of the house, but also said,
Do you love Rosie?
No.
After that incident, Chelsea went back to her biological mother, losing all the luxury she had at Rosie's house. But there's one celebrity kid who still capitalizes on her parents' fame despite having poor acting skills and a history of bad behavior with underage boys. Zoe Kravitz is the daughter of singer Lenny Kravitz and actress Lisa Bonet. She was able to get roles like Catwoman even though she was nowhere near talented as Anne Hathaway. Zoe's poor acting skills are no secret to anybody, but what made her part of this video is her creepiness towards a then 14-year-old Jaden Smith. In an interview with a magazine, she shared her views on how she looks at young Jaden. There were moments I was hanging out with Jaden and thinking, I can't believe you're 14. I have to check myself. Like what I say to you. She laughs. He has so much personality and so much swag. He is so much cooler than I am. He is so handsome. I was always like, when you're older, you know, we'll hang out. It's important to keep in mind that at the time when she gave this interview, Zoe was 24 and Jaden was just 14, which means she was literally in contact with a kid and was waiting for him to get older so she can hang out with him. And well, this just sounds like grooming. There's another disturbing video of her giving an interview outside of an award show, and the way she calls Jaden and then talks to her doesn't seem appropriate at all.
People be really passionate. Jaden! Sorry.
Great! Perfect!
You made
I've been looking for you for the past forever.
I dragged him out tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Literally dragged you? This is my date.
Oh my gosh, I've been looking for you for 45 minutes
Don't leave.
casually.
I want to. Hey, just don't
Okay,
leave.
yes.
Don't leave.
I'm-
Hang on. Tell her how amazing she looks. Tell me how.
You look like something that you would find in like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Like, wow.
Keep him around. Don't leave. Sorry, that's like my love of my life.
What did he say you look like? He
Willy
said
Wonka is something in Willy Wonka. That's what like a 16-year-old says to you. It's a compliment. It's great. What was I saying? I don't know
he's
what
your
I was
date for
saying.
tonight?
Yes, I dragged him out. I texted him and I said you have to come, so he did. I love him.
If a man had treated a 16-year-old like that, even the reporter would have reacted in a totally different way. However, Zoe Kravitz has gotten away with her past so smoothly, which couldn't be said about Robert Downey Jr. and his son Indio Downey. Our very own Mr. Stark is the son of filmmaker Robert Downey Sr., who fought drug addiction all his life, and the same legacy was inherited in his son, Robert Downey Jr. In an interview, Downey Jr. admitted he experienced drugs for the first time at the age of 6 and became an addict at 8.
When did you do your first drug?
God, before I was 8 years old.
Years went by and Junior found himself in jail for the possession of heroin and cocaine. He spent 3 years in jail from 1996 to 1999. By the time he went to jail, he had already spent 10 good years in the film industry. But when he got out, things completely changed for him. He was kicked out of the projects he was doing and couldn't get a single project until 2001, which was just a B-grade TV show. After so many setbacks in personal and professional life, Downey Jr. finally left all his addictions in 2003 and has maintained his sobriety to this date. Well, what's unique about his story is not how dedicated he is, but how history repeats itself no matter how hard you try to change your story. In 2014, Robert Downey Jr.'s son Indio got arrested on drug charges.
Successful, I certainly hope, because I know in life people always look up to superheroes. You've heard of that before? Well, I think you might have contact or an insight as to one superhero, that's Iron Man. So I think if you have contact with that person, that can give you insight and wisdom to help you make sure you do this well.
What makes Indio's scenario different is how his father, Downey Jr., supported him in getting out of the mess. Unfortunately, there's a genetic component to addiction, and Indio has likely inherited it. Downey Jr. said in a statement, "There's a lot of family support and understanding, and we're all determined to rally behind him and help him become the man he's capable of being." While Downey Jr. succeeded in correcting his own son's misconduct, Rod Stewart couldn't help but avoid the media's questions about Shawn Stewart.
Let's get the real thing. What about the Bentley your son crashed? Was that yours?
It wasn't good to you? It wasn't mine, it was his girlfriend's, but
how much was that car cost? $250,000?
This look of secondhand embarrassment of Rod's face is nothing compared to what he must have felt when Shawn pulled the stunt in Los Angeles. Back in 2002, Shawn got into a fight with a poor truck driver whose only mistake was waiting for his girlfriend outside of a restaurant. Drunk Shawn first spat on the truck window, grabbed the driver out of the truck, punched his face, pinned him down, kicked him with his boots on, and kept kicking him until the driver was unconscious. Later, when the police arrived, the victim's family accused him of using a deadly weapon on their son. The Stewart family denied their accusations by saying Shawn didn't have a weapon with him that night. I guess they didn't know the police can legally consider your boots as deadly weapons if they're used to kick someone. Shawn was then sentenced to 3 months in jail for the attack. But it wasn't the first time his anger issues embarrassed the heck out of the Stewart family. But yet again, Shawn had some more plans to embarrass his father. And it happened in 2007. In just 1 week before Rod was set to marry model Penny Lancaster, Shawn was charged with throwing bricks at a couple when they didn't allow him to enter their private party. It's confirmed that Shawn was drunk that night, because who in their right mind would want to crash crash a private party in a random city. Anyways, the couple reported this incident to the police, who kept Shawn for an hour until his dearest father got him bailed after paying $60,000 and tried to get away with it by saying Shawn is on medication. But he's the sort of kid who couldn't sit still. He has attention deficit disorder. While Rod accepts his son has a mental disorder, Tom Hanks doesn't even acknowledge Chet Hanks' wrongdoings. In the past 10 years or so, audience have seen Chet doing everything but following in his father's footsteps, whether it was about flashing guns on Instagram, acting crazy in his videos.
I got the vaccine. I think everybody should. I think it's really important, like, that we all do this just as, like, citizens, as Americans. We have to look out for each other and get this shit under control, guys. So, like, I suggest to all my followers, you guys set an appointment and get the vaccine first thing. Psych! Bitch! If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I never had COVID. You ain't sticking me with that motherfucking needle. It's the motherfucking flu. Get over it, okay? If you're sick, stay inside. I'm tired of having okay? Why are we working around y'all? If you're in danger, stay your ass inside. I'm tired of wearing a motherfucking mask.
Or assaulting his girlfriend. Chet has done everything to embarrass his celebrity parents. If I had to award him for the worst thing he could ever do to himself, then I'd be accusing his girlfriend of attacking him. When TMZ uploaded this video, people perceived Chet as a victim of domestic violence, until his girlfriend, Kiana Parker, accused him of physical and emotional abuse and provided all the proof to the court. She said in her affidavit, "During a shoot, we had an argument in which he allegedly grabbed me by the wrist, harassing me verbally and forcefully shoving me." Chet didn't only physically harass Parker, but also threatened to shoot her. While there are some inconsistencies in Chet and Kiana's abuse story, what Nicolas Cage's son has done to the woman in his life makes him the worst celebrity child out there. Everyone is aware of Nicolas Cage's outrageous behavior. Stop this now! However, only a few know the shameful story of his son, Weston Cage. Weston is notorious for causing unnecessary fights and physically assaulting women in his life. For example, in 2011, he was seen fighting with his trainer outside a restaurant. This was probably his first physical altercation that made it to the news, but Weston had no plans of stopping there. Just a few days after this incident, he and his then-wife, Nikki Williams, were sent to jail under the charges of domestic violence against each other. His mother, Christina Fulton, fully supported her son and denied the charges against him.
So, real quick, I wanted to talk with you since, recently your son got arrested along with his wife, Nikki, both for domestic violence against each other. And Nikki has gone on record to say that Weston has struck her. Would you like to say whether that's true or not?
Weston does not strike women at all. He's against any of that, so that's absolutely not true.
Being a mother, she always protected her child from media backlash and stood beside him.
Honey, I'm his mom. Mamas always are there, so.
But she didn't have any idea what Weston could have done to her later on. In 2023, while Weston was going through his third divorce, almost all of his friends abandoned him due to his outrageous behavior. The only person who can help him in his bad phase was Fulton. But what he did to Fulton during a fight sent him to jail. On a random day in May of 2023, TMZ posted a picture of Fulton with bruises around her eyes. The picture went viral and police reached out to Fulton. Upon investigation, they got to know that Weston had a verbal argument with his mother, which escalated to the point where he punched Fulton in the face and ran away from the house. One day after the incident, the police caught Weston, but they couldn't put him behind bars because Fulton chose not to talk about what had happened to her. And to prepare for the worst-case scenario, Nick Cage had already paid the $150K for Weston's early bail. So in the end, Weston never actually paid the price for his wrongdoings.